Hey guys, David with Philippine American Couple Story. This is going to be part 3 in our series. This one is going to be on transportation. Won't be real long, so just bear with me. Now, of course, transportation going to the Philippines all starts with what? How are you going to get to the airport in your own country? So, here in the United States, of course, our airport's is not right next door. So we had to get a friend to take us to the airport with our luggage. So you got to plan for that. Now, you can always leave your car at your airport and pay parking fees, but that's a bummer. Now, from there, you buy your ticket or you get your ticket bought. You know where you're going. Our recommendation is about 3-hour layovers at the different airports is usually plenty of time. And works well and keeps, it doesn't keep you just stuck in an airport for hours and hours, which is horrible, because I've done that before. I had a 9-hour layover one time, which was absolutely horrible. So just keep that in mind. And then when you get to the Philippines, now when you land at the airport and you get through that, and I talked a little bit about the airport situation a few minutes ago in another video. Well, keep in mind, you can either have taxis or outside. Now, we were fortunate enough that we had some friends there that had a new private driver, and we used them, which I think is 10,000 times better. And we appreciate them, and now they're our friends and part of our YouTube family and our Facebook family. So we very much enjoyed meeting them and getting to know them and using them and having them there around there. So Melody, thank you for introducing all of those guys to us. Now, taxis, keep in mind that the Philippines had a horrible reputation about taxis, and it's on the internet and blah, blah, blah. The current, administration has done a very good job of trying to improve that. The thing to keep in mind is they're kind of set up in a queue. So when you get there, a lot of times you don't have your choice of taxi, but there'll be a white taxi. They'll have their numbers. I prefer the ones that have newer looking cars, just because if you're going very far, the Rumble and the beat up Toyotas, they're 15 years old, has 400,000 miles on it. It's nicer to be in a little bit nicer car. But here's what's really important. One, you need to pay them in pesos. So get you some money at the airport. Exchange enough so that you have that. And by the way, I didn't mention this in the money video, but you can change money in the U.S. airports to pesos also. So you don't got to wait till you get to the Philippines. You can do it at Dallas or Chicago or wherever and exchange money and have pesos with you when you land. All right, but here's part of the key with the taxi situations. One, make sure they turn their meter on. That's the law. If they don't turn their meter on, then you need to get out. If he doesn't turn it on, you tell him right away, turn your meter on. And if he says, oh, it's broken, just pay me no, tell him to stop and get out. One, what he's doing is committing a crime, and you're allowing it to happen. And he's going to overcharge you. That's part of the scam with that. If they don't turn their meter on, they know they can get more money out of you. Because taxis in the Philippines really are not that expensive at all, especially compared to the United States. So have them turn the meter on and then go. And watch the meter. Pay attention, look at his badge, get it and be nice to him. That's part of it. Sometimes Westerners have a bad reputation of being arrogant and mean and snobbish or bullish or whatever you want to call it. Just be nice. You're on vacation or you're going there to meet a girl, whatever you're doing, just, enjoy it. So, taxis. They also have Grab there, which is like Uber. Now, we didn't use Grab for a couple reasons. We heard it was really good and people they really liked it. The locals really liked it. And if I understand how this worked in the Philippines was, one, you got to have an app on your phone, which since we didn't have a phone based in the Philippines with the SIMS card, we couldn't do it anyway. But basically it's like here, you got an app, you call up a Grab, and the car shows up, within a couple minutes of picking you up. And it's supposed to be a little bit cheaper than taxis. They're usually nicer cars than some of the older taxis. But in a lot of, and one thing I noticed is some of the taxis are actually grabs. So, which is kind of weird. I didn't know how that quite worked. I guess they're charging the grab rate versus the taxi rate. If you call them on, if you use the app for grab and a taxi shows up. Now, one of the interesting things about the grab and about the Philippines and transportation that kind of, I don't know, makes me, coming from this country, a little leery. In the Philippines, you can have your windows on your cars and your vehicles tinted as dark as you want. So I didn't like the concept of grab because I couldn't see into these people's cars. And what I mean is they will also tint the front windshield. So when you get in the car, it's pretty dark because it's so bright and sunny in the Philippines and the angles of the sun. Even the taxis will tint the windows in the front. And sometimes they'll just have cutouts where they can just see better. But everything's dark, but it's hard to see inside the car. So I didn't want my wife, I know she was more than happy to try to use Grab, but I told her just get the real taxi from the hotel and take it and make me feel better because then I know you're not being kidnapped in a car that I can't see inside of. So, but there is Grab there and everybody says it works really well. Now, we stayed at a very nice hotel and they had taxis there. And here's kind of the neat thing that I liked about this. Because I actually got ripped off by a taxi driver, which is okay, because, you know, it all works out in the end. So when I left, my wife was gone shopping with her girlfriends or bowling or, I don't know, something. So I decided to take off and go to the mall and go eat and hang out or whatever. And I got a taxi, but the bellman at the hotel gave me his name and his cab number on a piece of paper is what they do. They say, here you go. And so they call him up on a radio. He comes up. He's next in queue. And you get in, and he ripped me off. That's okay. But when I came back, I made sure to tell the hotel and gave him this piece of paper. So what he really did was got himself in trouble, because while we were there, the hotel, the Buy Hotel, which was very nice, and everybody was super friendly there, decided that they needed to run more shuttles, free shuttles, because they had taxi drivers taking advantage of guests. And they in the Buy Hotel don't want that reputation. They didn't like that. So this guy who made maybe an extra $1 off of me wind up losing money because, well, no longer is the Buy Hotel going to use them. Now, a lot of your hotels will have shuttles. And ours had shuttles running to the malls and places that are free. They're usually on a schedule. I know, like I said, we stayed at the Buy. We could take it to Ayala or SM or the Park Mall, and it just kind of goes in a big circuit. And if you want, it dropped us off at 10 in the morning and pick you up at 7. Or what we did a lot was we just took it to wherever we were going to go, let it drop us off. When we got done, we just took a taxi back. So it saved us a little money. And it was good. The drivers are nice people. The shuttles are clean and safe. So that's something to keep in mind there. Now, be prepared to walk. You walk a lot in the Philippines. And I mean you walk a lot. And there's a lot of stairs. So transportation-wise, your feet are going to be very important. We walked a lot over to the malls. Even if you take the shuttle or the taxi, there's still a lot of walking you got to do. But be prepared when you're walking for the cars, the bicycles, and the other pedestrians. It's a very congested place. They have traffic lights and some crosswalks, but there's a lot of places where, and it's kind of cool how traffic is a living and breathing entity in the Philippines. It's not like the United States where it's highly structured. There's a fluidity of traffic. There's certain beeps of the horn that tells one driver this, another driver that, because you gotta, in the Philippines what happens, if you have 2 lanes, let's say for instance, if you have a 2-lane road going north and 2 lanes going south, you may have 4 lanes of traffic on those 2 lanes going north. So you may have 4 cars going north. And then you have motorcycles and bicycles jigging and jagging all around you. And then you may have these 4 lanes, right? And so you might have a car way over here who decides, oh, I'm going to go this way now. And so he fights his way through traffic and makes everybody stop so he can get over here. So it's not highly regulated like the United States. So be prepared for that. That's why I like the shuttles and I like the taxis. I think it'd be kind of fun to drive there. I think as a Westerner though, as an American, I was telling our driver who we got to know that in America, if you blow your horn at somebody, somebody's liable to shoot you for it or rear end you or hit you. But in the Philippines, it's all kind of part of the dance. It's a very, and it can get a little irritating coming from the West, but they're used to it. It's normal. If you calm down and just go with it, it really doesn't bother you so much, especially if somebody else is driving. Because then you just go, oh, whatever, I'll let them figure it out. And don't be shocked if you're in this lane and this car decides, and I mean they literally will put their car 1 inch in front of your car to get you to stop. It's just the way it is. Bicycles are the same way. Tricycles, motorcycles, all the same way. So be prepared for that, transportation issues. Now also, while you are running around seeing things and doing things, you'll see a lot of guys on the street selling bottled water, you know, normal, just part of the system. The one thing I might have mentioned earlier is I didn't like the air conditioning. I mean, it was nice and cool, which I appreciate, but I didn't like the smell of it. I think they use a different Freon, and I have a lot of health issues and a lot of lung issues, and I could really tell it's not like the Freon that we're using in AC units in the United States, the cars and in the restaurant. So, all right. So that's about it for transportation. If you like your driver, you know, tip them. If your taxi driver's a nice guy and is honest, I always like to tip the ones who seem to be honest and want to get you there instead of driving you all around, wasting time. I give them more money and always tell them, hey, thank you for being a good taxi driver. And I think they appreciate that. So those are just some of my tips and thoughts on transportation in the Philippines. Hope it's helpful. Please like, subscribe, and share our videos again. All right, guys. I'll follow up with another video here in a little while. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.